Ooh, did I say my outro? Did I say I love you and God?
You did. Then you did some weird things.
Bye. Hello, angels. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. For all my new subscribers, hello. How is everybody feeling today? My name is Aisha Christina. Very, very nice to meet you. I am doing Vlogmas this year, guys, for the first time. I literally cannot believe this. I need you guys to send me all the suggestions that you guys have. This is 25 videos of just whatever it is that you guys want me to film, and I'm super excited. You have no idea, okay? So these are my last couple of videos that I have right now until next year, 2022, where we're back to our normal setting, or maybe we will forever now incorporate this type of stuff into the videos. I don't know, depends on how you guys react to it. I don't know. Also, I want you guys, before we get on into the video, to make sure that you are giving this video a big thumbs up. You guys should know that by now. You guys know the drill. Also, make sure that you are following me on Instagram, which will be over here at Aisha Christina Foster. And lastly, make sure your post notifications are turned on so that you're notified every single time that I post. You're not gonna wanna miss these vlogs. It's going to be every day, baby, okay? For 25 days, starting December 1st. I'm so excited. Now, here's the reason why you guys are here. Today, we're gonna be talking about the 5 signs that you may be settling for less. Let's get on into the video. Now, I think that we have all experienced settling for less at some point or another in our lives. Now, I am making this to encourage and remind you guys that you do not have to settle. I think that settling has a negative connotation, and people just assume that it's more of like a bigger, better deal sort of thing, or misinterpret that the grass is always greener where you water it. However, I think it's important to understand the balance of knowing when you're settling and actually understanding that you can absolutely do better. And I'm going to let you know the 5 signs that you are in fact settling for less and why it's important that we do not do this. So, number 1 is you have a severe cognitive dissonance between what you want versus the reality of what your relationship is. So this is probably going to look like, you know, a girl that's going to be posting things online or posting quotes and things on social media that are literally the antithesis of their relationship. Or you can find that you are separating things that you actually want and talk about, you know, from your actual relationship. So this could look like you saying you don't believe in like 50-50 type relationships. However, that's the exact lifestyle that you're living, or even worse, you're the one that's mostly paying for everything. And what this means is not only is this weird and kind of hypocritical in this sense, but more importantly, it's not in alignment with the things that you actually really want or the lifestyle that you want for yourself. You cannot date someone and build a life with someone when you have so many issues with the things that they do on a daily basis. And you're going to want and desire a different lifestyle than what that person can bring into the relationship. And also what that person can bring out of you in that relationship. And this just essentially means that there's no way that you can accept that individual for who they are. Because if you did, then there wouldn't be a disconnect between the things that you desire versus what is actually present in that relationship. There are many things that are fixable in relationships. However, your outlook on life, how you recreate, and other things are non-negotiable. You need to accept what is and not live in the fantasy. Number 2, you are dimming your light. This simply means that you feel like your partner is always trying to humble you, you know, from the things that you want, or if you're someone that enjoys nice things and a certain type of lifestyle, that individual will more than likely make you feel like you are materialistic, or the things that you want are not achievable, or that you're so obsessed with money and all these things, instead of just accepting the fact that maybe you just happen to like nice things, and not everyone that likes nice things are materialistic or only care about money, because some people are naturally drawn to the finer things in life. And nobody should be condescending about that, because if that is something that is a true part of you and something that you truly desire, then there shouldn't be an issue. For example, when I was 21 years old, I had a boyfriend and he was a nightmare on Elm Street. And he would always make me feel like he was in competition with me. This is the first time that I feel like and the only time that I've ever experienced a dynamic where somebody was making me feel like I was in competition with them. And it was weird because I was like, I'm a girl, you're a guy. Like, does there feel like there's this weird energy? I was paying for all the dates, which never happened really again. It was just a very interesting learning experience, to say the least. I say all that to say that principally, he made me feel like, I don't know, like I couldn't really be all of myself. And the older that you become and the more dating experience that you have, you tend to learn the difference between someone that makes you feel like you can say whatever it is that you want to say versus an individual that you just want to listen to whatever they say, because you're kind of scared that if you don't comply or be super tolerable of the things that they say and do, that they're going to leave you. And that's kind of how that individual made me feel. And like, I knew that we grew up very different, and I didn't want to make him feel like, because he couldn't really like afford his like phone bill and stuff, and like didn't have a car, that we couldn't be together, even though he was 27 and I just turned 21 a week prior. It was just very, very much not giving what it needed to give. But I am grateful for the lesson that I learned, that something like that will never happen to me again. And it never has. I'm on to my next point. You are uninspired. If you find yourself in a situation where you are uninspired by the person that you are with, more than likely you're spending a lot of time occupying another type of emotion. And this could look like you comparing your relationship to other people's relationships and being envious of other couples. Being with another individual should absolutely inspire you and bring out the best qualities in you. And honestly, it goes both ways. And if you're going to be uninspired by someone, then how can you be excited, to want to be your best? I said this in a previous video as well, that when you're in a situation that is super toxic, or maybe, bringing out the worst side of yourself, that is eventually going to be part of you. And you can only hang out with a certain type of crowd or person for so long until you end up mirroring the qualities that they actually possess. And when you waste so much time, dreading life, thinking this is all that it could be for you, you're not going to reach your best, potential, because the person that you're with is not inspiring you to do so. And it's hard to reach for the stars and experience what life has to offer if your partner doesn't ignite that part of you. Because even if it didn't start out that way in the beginning, eventually it'll die down, that desire, because it's not sustainable, being that the person that you are constantly around and exchanging energy with isn't on that same page. Another reason that you may be settling is you are with your partner because you are afraid of being alone. Okay. This is huge, because if you are afraid of being alone, you're going to feel obligated to stay with that person, because you're going to place so much emphasis on the history of being with that individual for a prolonged period of time, instead of cultivating a genuine desire to be with that person and coming from a place of fear rather than love. Okay. You're not going to be fulfilled in that relationship. Anything you do out of force is not sustainable. You will always have a wandering eye, and this type of misalignment with yourself is very bad, because it transcends into other areas of your life. You cannot bring out the best qualities of yourself if you're not being your authentic self with your partner and living a life that you have manufactured simply because you don't want to be alone. And this is inevitably going to cause you to compromise, and then you're going to give up on your hopes and your dreams and your priorities. And it's not fair to you, because everyone deserves a relationship with someone that shares and supports their life choices. And you should never have to compromise to a point where you lose sight of what your priorities are and who you really are, nor is it fair to be with anyone out of fear, because imagine if you found out that the person that you're with is only with you because they actually don't want to be alone. That's literally you being a placeholder. Be mindful of this. When you focus on the time and energy that you've invested into something rather than the love and the joy, you are more likely settling. And lastly, your gut instinct and intuition is off. This will tell you if you are in fact settling. If you frequently feel insecure or anxious, or you're not sure where your partner stands or how your partner feels, and there's a lack of emotional intimacy in the relationship, or maybe you feel like you need to lower your standards or your expectations, that means that a part of you doesn't truly feel loved or even safe. And maybe that's because a part of you doesn't feel that safety enough to even show the fullness of yourself because you're afraid of not being accepted. And either way, your intuition is always telling you when something is off, and you have to believe it. So in conclusion, angels, the right situation is going to give you a sense of peace, because at the end of the day, feelings of infatuation do not last forever. So feeling comfortable and secure is very important. Also, building a friendship and having the same outlook on life is what is important. Being a balanced person and understanding that settling means different things to different people. And in addition to that, everyone has a different threshold of what they're willing to accept or not. You know, I always preach being a balanced person in all the things you do, because sometimes people have the bigger, better deal syndrome and they think that they can get better than what they have because they're not balanced enough to work through certain situations. And that does depend on the individual. So a situation like maybe the person you're with is not as tidy as you are is something that can be, you know, worked through, or overall someone's receptiveness to your feedback and emotions and the ability to actually make the changes towards the things that you've expressed concern with are always going to be worth devoting your time to. But always remember to never overlook, you know, deal breakers and red flags. Like if you have a different outlook on life or what you want in a partner, meaning if you want to get married and their vision of life is to have a life partner, but they don't believe in marriage, you cannot ignore these types of things, okay? It is not going to change. And because that individual loves you or whatever, or becomes your official boyfriend, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change. When people show you who they are, you have to believe them, okay? Settling is something that you are doing on your own. It is a choice that you are making, so always be mindful to make the right one. That is the end of this video, angels. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. If you guys have any tips, suggestions to help each other out in the comment section below, be sure to do so. And with that being said, do not forget that I love you and God loves you, and I will see you beautiful angels in my next video and also in Vlogmas. Mwah.